Hi, this is Taryn Fields for the Public Speaking Project Informative Speech Beer Business 101. You all have probably heard the slogans, Tap the Rockies, This Bud's for You, or It's Miller Time, or seen some of your favorite commercials on TV advertising the best ice-cold beer there is on the market today. For most, beer is a part of having fun and creating pastime memories. For me, the beer industry is part of what I do, how I make a living, and I really love what I do. So today, I'm going to hopefully give you a little bit of insight of what beer is made of, the process of brewing beer, and how the beer we all know and love makes it into our homes. First off, I will give you the 4 basic ingredients needed to make any beer: barley, hops, yeast, and water. Barley is the grain that 90% of beer is made of. Barley is responsible for color, flavor, sugar content, and the proteins in the beer. Hops is a hardy, herbaceous, perennial plant that is shaped like a pine cone. Hops is responsible for aroma, bitterness, secondary flavor, and also the stability of beer. In Charles Bramford's book, Beer, Tap into the Art and Science of Brewing, he states that over 100,000 tons of hops are cultivated per year, with 1/3 of the production coming from Germany and the next major producer here in the United States. There are 2 main types of hops used in brewing, one for aroma and one for bittering. Yeast is the next ingredient used in brewing. Yeast is responsible for the fermentation process. There are 2 main types of yeast. There is a Yale yeast and a lager yeast. The ale yeast is responsible for top fermentation, and the lager yeast is used for the bottom fermentation. Water is the next ingredient used in beer. 95% of beer is made up of water, and the mineral content and purity of water can change the flavor profile of any beer. It takes approximately 20 liters of water to make 1 liter of beer. Next, I'm going to walk you through the process of how beer is made, which is also known as brewing. The first step in brewing is malting. Malting is adding water to barley, germinating it until it sprouts, and then toasting the barley and then sending it to the milling process. Milling grinds the barley into a small grist. Mashing is the next step in the process, adding water to the malt grist and heating it to a boil to create a wort. Wort is a gooey oatmeal-like substance which is then moved to the kettle where the hops are added and they are boiled together. The longer the hops are brewed, the more bitter the beer will be, but the less aroma the beer will have. Fermentation process begins when the yeast is added. The yeast eats up the wort and converts sugars to alcohol, which ultimately creates the beer. It can take up to a week or several months depending on the yeast strain and the type of beer that is being brewed. The yeast will settle, and then you are left with a beer. Filtering is the last process in brewing. Once the beer has been fermented completely, once the beer has fermented completely, it will be ready for filtering. Filtering removes yeast and impurities from the beer. Some beers are filtered more than once to have a super clarity and crisp, clear beer, and some beers are not filtered at all, which leaves them cloudy with some sediment floating around through the bottle. Lastly, I'm going to talk to you about how beer makes it from the brewery to the retailer to your home. During Prohibition from 1920 to 1933, the sale of any alcoholic beverages were banned. This led to a lot of underground breweries. And according to Carl Miller from beerhistory.com, by 1929, the Prohibition Bureau estimated that the illicit production of homebrew was at 22 million barrels a year, nearly the same amount of beer that was legally sold in 1919. So after Prohibition, to regulate the beer business, the government created the 3-tier system. The 3-tier system consists of a brewer, a distributor, and a retailer. Brewer makes the beer, they sell it to the distributor, and then the distributor sells it to the retailer. So what does this mean for the future of beer? Quite a bit. As we've all seen, there's plenty of craft beer hitting the market today. We've all seen local brew pubs and brew houses which brew beer in-house. So through the brew houses, they are not required to go through the 3-tier system. Brew pubs and brew houses can sell beer directly to a consumer. And of course, the popularity of craft beer, which has been on a steady rise over the past 5 years. According to Bart Watson of the Brewers Association, the U.S. alone surpassed 4,000 breweries that are actively brewing beer that are registered with the TTB. So whether or not you like beer or enjoy an ice cold beer from time to time, or if you can't stand the taste, or if you're just a beer geek like me, today I hope you learned a little bit more about the beer industry, how it is made, and I hope that you all have a whole new appreciation for beer and brewing. Thank you all and have a great day.